Islam, state legislators in Texas passed a version of the much-debated American Law for American Courts bill. The bill bans Muslim Sharia law within the state, as well as certain practices that contradict American law. It was filed by Representative Dan Flynn after several court cases denied restraining orders or ruled against victims in domestic disputes because those individuals cited their Sharia law practices. Although many Muslim activists oppose the legislation, it's been voted for by both the State House and Senate, and it will now head to the governor's desk for a signature.
What we're seeing here is that in some countries like England, Sharia law, which is Islamic law, is taking over from the law of the land. And in order to allow people to live happily, to a certain extent in the UK, I think Sharia law has been allowed, especially when it comes to marriage. Because Islamic marriage falls outside of the laws of Christian marriage, because you can have 4 wives, and I think in Christianity and in English law you can only have 1. So without knowing too much about law, because there are other people from other cultures that can clash with the mother culture of the country that they're in. And so there's this push that we're seeing, which is that other people that come to a country have to respect the laws and the culture in that country. And when you have competing laws and culture, which is pushing the mother culture down or away, or is perceived to be, or there are actors which are saying that this is happening, the general perception might be that, that culture is under attack. And so we're starting to see pushback. And Texas is having a large problem with its borders, as loads of Mexicans and people using Mexico as a gate to go into their culture. They are very sensitive about this issue, and as Europe is, because it's got a lot of immigration which is coming into it as well. So I think that there's going to be a push to try to get more, to try to defend the local culture. But my issue is that you've got to be very careful, because this once happened before in the Second World War, and it wasn't Islam, it was Judaism, and I don't think that's going to happen again, but definitely this is going to rile, Islamic identity and ideology, because they believe that they're correct, because they have their prophet, and they're not very much perceived as being an open religion, even though they say it's all about peace. And I don't want to get into the politics of, what it is and what it isn't. It's more to do with Texas is taking an initiative to ban these things. And once these things start to be banned in one place, they'll be banned in another place. And the repercussions of this, you're going to get social divisions. There are not a lot, I wouldn't have thought, large percentages like there are in England and France of Muslim people and communities. And so it might be easier for Texas to do that. But for France to do it, it's going to become very difficult. And the push by Marie Le Pen to make people not wear a burqa, the women not have a burqa, is going to come with some resistance if she gets in. And so there are all sorts of pushbacks now against cultures which don't come from the local culture. Again, you might want to speak to how the indigenous people of America feel, or the people of New Zealand, or the Aborigine. How do they feel about this? What do they feel is going on? But I'm not taking a side. I'm just telling you what's going on and what the people are going to start thinking and feeling, and what the reactions may or may not be.